Check it out, we rapping for the Texas. Full bid in, Crenshaw Bridge, we flexing. Houston rap style, we bringing the heat. Talking Texas football, nugget compete. Got the best podcast, the loudest in the game. Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Remember the name. We talking draft picks, we talking defense. We break it all down, no nonsense. H-Town with the Run Showdown. On the mic, talking Texas football. Every Wednesday night, with special guests dropping knowledge, taking the stage. Oh, diggity, Crenshaw Briggs, be holding it down in the H-Town, wiping it down. Talking touchdowns in H-Town. Houston culture, we holding it down. Talking news and rumors, keeping it real. No filter, we got the Texas appeal. In the Lone Star City, we're living it up. Talking all things Texas, we can't get enough. From the football field to the concrete jungle, we're ripping H-Town. Ain't nothing humble, bitch.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to the Texan Fan Battle Podcast. I'm your host for the day, Crenshaw. And today, we got two of the crew here today. Oh, man. We got my boy Ruben up in here. Talk to him.
Hey, what did I tell you? The Houston Texans were going to walk into Indianapolis and walk out with the horse's head on their shoulders. Ladies and gentlemen, this is football. It wasn't easy. It took you all 4 quarters to win this football game. You are 1-0 in a game that a lot of people were watching. You had the Indianapolis Colts Stadium rocking. You had Zaire Franklin, EJ Speed talking trash on their podcast. This felt like an early playoff matchup, and the Houston Texans rose to the occasion, and they won in a way in which we haven't seen in years, and that is they won the game on the ground. Can't believe it.
Can't believe it. And we got Kenneth the Messenger just popped in. Talk to him.
What's good, man? Feeling good. Was a little nervous at the beginning. You know, we started off slow, but at the end of the day, we got the win. Happy about that, and happy about a few things we saw. But yeah, man, I hope the Texans fans are excited and ready to roll. Keep team to go and keep building.
Okay, and we got Chef Briggs up in the house.
Man, I can't beat an intro like that with Kenneth and Ruben, but you know, I have faith in CJ Stroud, like CJ Stroud has faith in the Lord thy Savior. So let's go. Good win. Let's go.
All right, let's go. Okay, let's go. Let's go. All right, man. The Texans win 29-27. CJ Stroud 24-32, 234 yards, 2 touchdown passes, had a QBR 115. Joe Mixon 30 carries, 159 yards, 1 touchdown. Nico Collins 6 receptions, 117 yards, 0 touchdowns. So we're gonna start on the offensive end. I'm gonna start off with you, Ruben. What did you like from the offense, and what did you did not like from the offense today?
Yeah, so what I liked was the run game. Joe Mixon, 30 attempts, 159 yards, 5.3 yards a carry, a touchdown, and gave you 3 receptions for 19 through the air. Joe Mixon had a game today, and after today, I feel confident in saying that we might have our first 1,000-yard rusher since Carlos Hyde. I mean, it was easy for Joe Mixon today, so you have to credit the offensive line in the run blocking. However, in terms of pass protection, it was bad today. It was really bad in the first half. The Texan offense had to adjust, bringing in, their tight ends to help in the pass protection area. But like Stephon Diggs said, when the offensive line needed to drop their nuts, that's exactly what they did. You kind of expect these types of growing pains, and I think we talked about it on the show. This is the first game they played together all year. So in terms of pass protection, there was a lot left to be desired. But in terms of running the ball, winning the war in the trenches on the ground against DeForest Buckner, Kwity Paye, Grover Stewart, Lealty Latu, their first-round draft pick, and, seeing Kenyon Green get to the second level in the running, I mean, man, I was so excited, and you build upon this. It felt like the running game arrived, and it felt like the pass and attack is still trying to figure itself out, which is scary. You still put up 29 points. Ooh, I think you're muted.
You're on mute, Crenshaw.
Yeah, see, that is scary because we thought the run game was going to take a while. A couple of games in the past was going to be there, but it was opposite. So that's a good thing. Now, Kenneth, what did you think about the offense today?
So, like I said, in the entry, I feel like we started off slow a little bit, and it was expected a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of weapons, and CJ trying to figure it out a little bit still. But at the end of the day, it was an overall great performance from the offense because we still found a way to do what we need to do. Joe Mixon had a crazy game, and that's why I was so excited when we traded for him. We had some fans like, man, Joe Wash, Joe this, and I'm like, man, y'all tripping. Like one
Hmm.
thing, I've always been a big fan of Joe, and I knew when we got him, like he still got some in the tank. Like he still got some left in the tank, and like he's not washed. Far from that. And you saw it today 29 carries, 159 yards rushing. Like, that is crazy. Like, nobody is. I'm not going to lie. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that big, like, 159 yards rushing. Like, I didn't expect that. But at the end of the day, like, Joe Mixon is that man. Like, he's definitely a great pickup for us. And, yeah, like, his offense going to be scary. Once the catching, passing offense figure it out, you know what I'm saying? CJ not think too much because I can tell today he was trying to. I think he was thinking too much in the beginning.
Mm.
I think he was thinking too much in the beginning. He know he has a lot of weapons, so I think he was just thinking too much. But at the end of the day, I think he's gonna get it together. Like everything gonna come together. I'm not worried at all. Like great game by the offense and the defense. They made some stops when they needed to. I definitely didn't like the big plays or whatever. But it is what it is. It's the NFL. It happens. As long as we move forward, you know what I'm saying, learn from it, we're gonna be straight.
All right. Okay. So, Matt. Okay. So, we in the comments, I'm saying that Joe Mixon, 1,000 yard rusher. Ruben, 1,000 yard rusher.
Hmm.
Kenneth said, "Hey, he ain't washed, but right now he's on pace for 500 attempts and 2,700 yards rushing."
Well, of course, that workload is gonna diminish, but you saw we completely abandoned the pass at towards the end of the game. And that was because Joe Mixon was so effective. I mean, in the third quarter, he wasn't getting touched until he was 5 yards into the Colts defense. And
Mhm.
where the hell was Zaire Franklin? Where the hell was EJ Speed? Because I did not see them at all on the field whatsoever. Joe Mixon was lighting you boys up. All this shit y'all talked about on the podcast, how y'all were ready for us. Joe Mixon made you look silly. And this was a guy who didn't even play in the preseason. This was a guy who didn't even
Yeah, he's
practice in
just not the
training
rough
camp
one, right?
until the last few days. Like Bo said, Joe Mixon was in his bag. And do I think this is the way the offense is going in the future? Absolutely not. I still think we are going to be a dominant pass team. However, I could 100% see the Houston Texans just saying, hey, Joe Mixon, if you're having yourself a day, here's the rock. And we haven't had that, guys, in years since Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It's something we haven't seen in a while, right? It's a balanced offense. Like everybody's upset about CJ Stroud's performance, but you shouldn't be because it's a balance. It's a
Mm-hmm.
balanced offense. Like he had 200 something yards in a touchdown. Like that's not nothing to be ashamed of. But Joe Mixon has put him to. He did work. So yes, this is great because last year a lot of us complained about Bobby Slowick's and D'Amico's conservative play calling. This fits perfect because now we got a running offense that fits that conservative. Eat the clock, eat the clock, eat the clock, and that way we can win like we did in this tight game of 29-27. But I do agree with Ruben. It's going to open up the playbook a lot more, especially with play action. I'm surprised we didn't do more play action, but I can see why because of the field. CJ wasn't getting that grip, so I can see why they didn't want to do no bootlegs or anything like that. But the one thing that did kind of concern me was the play calling. Like Bobby Slowick did a good job playing calling, but to me it was too vanilla and wasn't going for the big plays like it was when we end the season. It's kind of like when we started off the season where it's good play calls, but it's not explosive like we're used to. And that kind of put CJ, I don't want to say handcuff him, but he he held the ball a long time. A lot of people was upset about offensive line, but CJ Stroud held the ball a long time. And that field didn't do him no problems either, no help either. When he got up, it was already there. You know, the rust was already there when he fell. So the play calling, again, it's only week 1, right? Week 4, week 5, we'll get it. I'm not too concerned about it. But everybody freaking out about offensive line, chill out. Week 1. Let the kinks work out before we start hitting the panic button. Houston Texans on this offensive line.
Well, no one's hitting the panic button, Matt. But dude, we cannot act like he wasn't getting, really bowled over in the first half. And you saw him get frustrated. And you saw the first 2 sacks. He didn't even get touched by a Colts defender. It was because there was so much pressure that he tripped on one of his guys. just running into him. When the Texans adjusted and they brought in the tight ends to help block, we saw better, opportunities when CJ was throwing the ball. And like, Stephon Diggs said, when they had to drop their nuts, they did. And you look at that 3rd and 11, you look at that pass to Nico on the right sideline, there was no Indianapolis Colts around him. And when it did matter most, the offensive line did its job. So like you said, Matt, I think, they're going to keep on getting better. It was the first time we saw them together in 2 seasons. So they definitely did clean up in the second half.
Ruben, the only reason why I said quick, don't hit the panic button, because there are Texans. Like that blitz, it was just a perfectly called play. But on that blitz, everybody said fire the offensive line. Like, chill out. That's what I'm saying. Like, I get you're used to winning. I get, it's a new step in a new Texans, but don't get too spoiled on us. Like, it'll work itself out.
It's just emotions.
Right. Look,
It's just
4
emotions,
sacks.
yeah.
I'll take it. On the opening day, 4 sacks. Last year was 6. So like,
it was 3 sacks in the first half and only 1 in the second. So in
absolutely.
terms of
Adjustment.
And like you said, 2 sacks was because CJ tripped, 1 on himself and 1 on his player. So I mean, right there, that's 2 steps. If it's a different field, maybe it's not 4 sacks, it's 2 sacks. So yeah, chill out on the offensive line. Like, yes, it got some work, but let's not hit the panic button.
At the end of the day, we rushed over 200 yards today, and I don't think we've done that in a while, rushing over 200 yards as a collective team. Okay, let's get on the defense. Ken, what is your concern on the defense? Just by looking at this game, what stood out to you on your TV? You was like, "Fuck, man, what the fuck?"
Man, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna start.
There's only one person, Kenneth. There's only one person.
Look, like Jimmy Ward. I felt a little bothered by the play. I mean, he played okay, but them big plays he gave up. And don't get me wrong, that first touchdown, that big bomb, I put that on him and Steen. But at the end of the day, as a safety, you do not let nothing get behind you.
And that's the first thing you're taught.
Exactly. And he let that happen. So that made me and then the catch from Pierce, I'm just like, God dang it, ain't no way Justin Simmons would have let that happen. But hey, it is what it is. We got Jimmy, you know what I'm saying? They extended him for, I think, an extra year. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, I think the defense was pretty good. What stood out to me is the interior. That, hands down, that was the best play I saw today. Out of all the positions, the interior really showed up. And I understand people say, yeah, they showed up because the attention was on the outside. That helps, you know what I'm saying? You got Will and you got Daniil on the outside, so the interior was balling. And what's his name? I think it was Mario. He kind of scared me a little bit. He slammed the crap out of Richardson. I get it because Richardson is a big boy, but let's be careful, man, because we don't need those stupid flags. But I like that. I like that play getting to the backfield, getting the sack, and then when Foley got him a sack too. So that was a good thing to see from our D tackles today.
Okay, Ruben, what did you break? Whatever you watched the game today, what did you break when you saw them Jimmy Ward plays?
Dude,
I know you broke something.
It was frustrating because we saw this last year. We saw it towards the end of the season, and we talked about upgrading the safety spot all off season, right? We were talking about Justin Simmons during training camp. That didn't happen, and with Jimmy Ward, he's D'Amico's boy. He followed him from San Francisco. Harley brought this up on the Bleacher Report stream. How long is the leash of Jimmy Ward? Because if he keeps on getting beat consistently, you could attribute 14 points to Jimmy Ward by himself. It was 3rd and 15 on that heave from Alex Pierce. And, you saw his body language, his face after. There was nothing he could do. And,
Murray ain't big out on him.
and
Murray was yelling at him.
Kalen Bullock needs to be, your Roman safety back there. He had an interception in the red zone today. He would have had another interception in the red zone until AD's boy Henry To'oTo'o broke up that pass. Kalen Bullock showed a lot in what limited opportunities that he had. And I think that's the only bad part about today's defense, man. It was those two plays by Jimmy Ward, and then the other one, Azeez Al-Shaair was right there in the pass breakup. The Colts only scored off of these big plays. And if you take those away, you could say this defense had a great day. But here's the thing. Those big plays matter. The Houston Texans last year were one of the worst teams in terms of giving up big plays. And they gave up 3 big ones today. I wonder what's going to happen with Jimmy Ward going forward. And if he keeps on getting beat like that, we're going to have to we'll have to have a serious conversation with D'Amico Ryans about his love for Jimmy.
Okay, so Matt, now Ruben just said about the big plays that we gave up. What about the big plays that Richardson missed today? Because if he'd have hit those, we would have got our ass blown out.
Luckily, he can't, throw a ball accurate, or it would have been a blowout, like you said. But again, that has to do with what Kenneth said, what Ruben said. We got some pressure after him, so it's not just that Richardson was inaccurate. He had some pressure, and that big bomb to Pierce, that to me, maybe I'm just looking into it, but that was a luck. Like Richardson looked like he just chunked it up there and said, "Fuck it, he's down there somewhere." And Pierce, it really did.
Okay,
he ran to offensive lineman.
Hold on, Matt. So basically, he did what Mills did last year. Just threw it up there. Well, not last year, 2 years ago, threw it up there, caught the ball, touchdown. So that's what he did.
Well, if you just look at it, like he ran into his own player and slipped. So and then he just chunked it. But regardless, it was a good play. It was a touchdown. He burnt us. But yeah, you gotta give it to the pressure of the defense though. Anderson and Hunter were there all game, getting held, but of course, you're not gonna get every holding call. That goes through the whole NFL. It's not going to happen, but it was good. Like Kenneth said, the defensive tackle stepped up, and just imagine if Archery was there. Just imagine if Christian Harris was there. Right? Ruben's Ray says it perfectly. Like, ooh, man, it's going to be beautiful. Again, nobody really knows what this team looks like until about week 5 or week 6. That's for the whole NFL. That's when you get all the rust knocked off. That's when you get some real good guys coming back. That's when you get the people where they're supposed to be, how they're supposed to be, and knock it out of the park. But I do agree, Jimmy Ward, he can't be playing that deep safety roaming spot. It has to be Bullock. Bullock proved why he's a ball hawk safety. He has to be out there. But I will have to say, I'm real impressed with Petrie making some stops and some pass deflections. We're all worried about that. And Henry T, like Ruben says, 80s boy, Henry T was all over the place, made some big stops. So that I was kind of worried, but you could tell we missed Christian Harris because AR burnt us big time, taking up the middle. If we had that spy there, I don't think it would happen, but it's only happening in horseshoes and hand grenades. So who knows?
Okay, Ruben, let me ask you this question right here. Does it concern you a little bit that I don't think the Colts punted this game, or am I wrong? Did they punt this game?
Punted twice. They punted twice.
They punted twice?
Yeah.
Okay. We just didn't return nothing, right?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure.
I think we did 3. 2 in the first half, 1 in the second half. So 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just double checking. Okay. Now, Ruben, what's your thoughts on at the end of the half with that time, the 15 seconds, 5 second? Who do you put that on?
So this is the bad part about me streaming the games. I had to go with no audio, so I wasn't able to hear what went on. From my understanding, from what Harley has said, the Houston Texans did not know that as soon as the ref took his hand off the ball, the play was going to start. And, that does happen. You have to put it on the offense. You have to put it on Bobby Slowick here. I feel like he should have ran to D'Amico and said, hey, call a timeout. You saw D'Amico Ryans frustrated, after it. I really thought what was going to happen was snap the ball, throw it right to the ground, bring out Kaimi Fairbairn, let's kick a field goal, take 3 points, go into the half. A mix up there, one that, it you also kind of put it's first week of the season. Things like this, it does happen, and it just felt like the Houston Texans at that moment were unprepared.
Yeah, unprepared. Now, during that moment, we didn't have a timeout at that moment, so we should have just had our field goal team out there. But I don't know. I guess we all was brain fart on that situation right there. But it almost cost us this game. Matter of fact, if we'd have lost this game, that's the play we'd have went back to right there. So I'm glad it didn't cost us the game.
The problem is it should have been like every other challenge. If the offense if they snap the ball before they can review it, then it should too bad. That's what it should be. They already spiked it. It should have been over with, but the referees told D'Amico that the time stopped. So to me, I'm thinking D'Amico was trying to set up the hash mark for Fairbairn to go out there and kick it. So I think that's where the confusion is. But again, it falls on the coaching. Like, you can't those mistakes again. Second year, I get it, but like Crenshaw says, when the game's on the line like that, you can't, because you never know if you're going to win by 3 or lose by 3. So you got every option to score. You got to take it.
I think the confusion about it was the reviewing the play. That's what messed everything up, and nobody was really on the same. The Texans, you know what I'm saying, they wasn't on the same page with the refs of knowing, hey, once we place this ball down, the time is going to run. And at the end of the day, I don't understand why. It was smart for the offense to be out there, but it would have only been smart if that ball would have been hiked and spiked as quick as possible. Like, I felt like CJ shouldn't have been under center, but at the end of the day, they wasn't expecting for that time to start running once the ball was on the ground. I feel like the ref should have told them, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. So, Ruben, how big it was that Stephon Diggs got the first touchdown? How big was that, bro?
Listen, man, if you would have saw me on Bleacher Report, I actually told Chad Ochocinco that Stephon Diggs was going to score the first touchdown, and he ended up agreeing with me. And what happened? Hey, welcome to the Houston Texans. Stephon, look, 6 catches, 33 yards, 2 tutties, and 3 of those 6 catches were important because I think one of the first or second one went for a first down on a 3rd and long. Stephon Diggs, also shout out to him for reaching 10,000 yards. He is building himself a hell of a resume. 2 touchdowns. I mean, what more could you ask for? And the go-ahead touchdown to win the game, Stephon Diggs, he should be happy, about his performance today. It looked easy for him. And here's the thing. It's going to only get better. Like I mentioned, it felt like this passing attack was trying to figure it out. But in moments where they needed to make plays, they trusted their guys like Nico. And then Stephon Diggs, your big acquisition. What more can you ask for? Goal line, 4th and goal.
They'll have some good catches there when it needed. So
yeah. Don't be mad that Tank Dell did not have a good game, guys, because what you might see next week is you might see Tank Dell with the 100 yards. You might see Nico Collins with the 2 touchdowns, and you might see Stephon Diggs with only 40 yards. That's the way this passing attack is going to be, because you legit have 3 number 1 guys. And when this gets figured out by Bobby Slowick, like Matt said, it's going to be figured out by week 5. It's going to be all systems go. You needed to win this game. It was arguably your toughest game of, the first 8. Now you have a nice couple of weeks. You got the Bears, you got the Vikings, you got, the Pats. This passing attack could get it going in these next couple of weeks here.
Well, before we move on, I got to stop you, Ruben, because you're capping, man. Stephon Diggs doesn't want to be here. He's unhappy. Come on, y'all know.
I heard he was a diva.
He's a diva. Like, he doesn't want to be here.
I heard Joe Mixon was washed. I heard Jonathan Grenard was better than Daniil Hunter. I heard Shane Steichen was going to out-game plan D'Amico Ryans. I heard C.J. Stroud was going to go in there and have a sophomore slump. I heard all this trash talk from these Colts fans who were so hyped about their 8 quarters. And here's the thing. You take away those big plays. What is the score really? And this is a game, man, where you did what you had to do. You started off 2024 1-0. You're the only AFC South team with the victory. Now everyone's looking up at you.
Exactly. Okay, so looking up at us. So let's move on to
And how did Tennessee lose that game? I'm watching the highlights right now.
how did Jacksonville lose their game?
Oh my God.
Both teams were up. So
17.
Yeah, and
it's
Frank
crazy.
brings it up. That turf was horrible.
Yeah, it was bad, man. It was bad. I mean, I thought it was gonna be better than what it was. I
Well,
mean,
they
the
hyped
Jets.
it up like the day before. We got this new corn husk all out here, and it's the next thing to artificial grass. And oh my God, get me away from that logo, please.
I know, right? I was hoping that logo didn't cost us the game. Someone break something and
Oh,
not break a leg, but like break away and fall.
yeah.
Like that. All right, so
Yeah, no, for a second I thought AR got hurt again. I was like, ooh, but he came back and still torched us.
yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. So overall, guys, what do you see that we need to work on for the next game against the Bears? I don't know. I don't know. Pretty sure you guys haven't, watched their game and see what they did wrong for them to be down 17-0. But what do we got to do next week to beat the Bears, Kenneth?
So, but like the passing game, I wanted to be better. It was good today. Don't get me wrong. It was good today, but I would like for it to be a little bit more better. That way, it's a really like you got to pick your poison. You know what I'm saying? Like running game was great today, and the passing game, like I said, was good. But if that passing game be better, like the offense is going to be scary. So at the end of the day, I definitely want to see Dalton get more involved, even though that's going to be hard. But definitely want to see Dalton get more involved. And like Ruben said, Tank, even though he had a little something today, next week he can get that 100 yards. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I definitely see them doing better next week for sure with the offense.
Ruben, what you got? What you think?
I think we haven't gave someone their flowers, and that's Nico Collins, because he was the number one guy today for the Houston Texans offense, over 100 yards. And I had this conversation with my friend Caleb. Shout out to him. He was here with me on the stream. I'm like, you have 100 yards. You have the big play where it's 3rd and 11. If you don't complete that, who knows what the hell is going to happen? You had the big go up and get him. Nico Collins might be turning into something, guys. And it's like he is a Colts killer. He's what who put that tweet out? He is what TY was for us, but that's Nico against the Indianapolis Colts. He had a fantastic game today. Arguably the play of the game on 3rd and 11. A beautiful throw, even better catch. But Nico Collins had himself a hell of a week 1, and just let's build upon this, man. Also shout out to Jalen Petrie. He was out there swarming. He was out there like a torpedo, helped out in the run game. Guys, we did not let Jonathan Taylor get more than 50 yards.
Absolutely.
Like
it's crazy. It's crazy.
I was hearing 150 yards plus from my boy Derek on the round table. And guess what, Derek? You were 100 short. You shut down the run. And here's the thing.
Ruben. He meant to say Joe Mixon, not CJ.
He got it wrong.
Joe
He got
Mixon.
the players messed up.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's not just what Nico Collins did, it's when he did it, right? Like that, like you said, that 3rd down, that huge play that he did wasn't easy. He had 2 defenders all in his face. Yeah, like anybody else probably would have dropped it. So like you got to. Good thing we paid him. Good thing we paid him when we paid him and how we paid him. Caps off. So
what did CJ say? He's the modern day Andre Johnson.
Hey, he made up.
He was bullying boys.
He made up for that drop on the sideline. I was a little mad because I know he could have caught that, and I know he knew the same thing. So when that sideline catch came back, easy money. That was a great catch and great throw. That was ridiculous. Like the commentator thought number 40 had blocked it, but I don't know what he was looking at.
All right, Matt. So this question right here, it said, "What are your thoughts on Kenyon Juice today?"
Like Ruben said at the beginning of the stream, like the boy was trucking out there. Like he was getting into the 2nd and 3rd level of the blocking. Like that's something we never seen from him. So week 1, first time they're together. He had a whole off last year off. Give him some time. Let Bobby Sugg, let the offensive line coach work their magic. Guys, I think we're going to have a top 15 to top 20 offensive line, if not better. Like relax. I think it's going to be a great year when it comes. And like Ruben and Kennepo said, the Colts front seven is nothing to be. It's dirty. It's
Nick
nasty.
Casterio said
joke.
it's going to be one of the best front sevens we face all year.
Absolutely, and it was. It was. They were back there. Buckner is a probably behind Chris Jones the best defensive tackle in the league. So like we did decent against a great line. So absolutely, I'm excited for it.
All right. Well, we all excited for it. Okay. Good recap, guys. Ruben, tell the folks where they can find you at.
Hey man, 713 Houston Sportsman trying to get to 13K by the end of this month. We had a great stream today. About 3,000 people were there. We were live. We were swarming, and can't wait to do it again next week, man. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir. Swarm away. Kenneth, tell the folks where they can find you at.
Y'all can find me on Twitter at Messenger_Keno, YouTube, Instagram, Kenneth the Messenger. And yes, sir. We working on some music. When it gets some, we got a surprise for y'all. I ain't gotta tell y'all who featured on the song that's coming, but it's gonna be some heat. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some heat. We coming.
We coming. Not that coming, but the other coming.
Yeah,
Matt, tell the folks where they can find you at.
Oh yeah, man! A1 Day One Texas, and I dropped some articles on the Fanbow Sports Network, so make sure you check that out. And like Ruben said, he's trying to get to 13K. We're trying to get to 5K. So if you're from our YouTube, like his, and if you're from his YouTube, like ours, it's gonna be a great season. We're winning, so let's win together. Let's swarm. Let's get going.
Let's swarm. You can find me at Fifth Ward Crenshaw, and where they can find you at, Liam.
The place over there.
All right, and we out.
Yo, check it out, we rapping for the Texas.